Hi, this is Dave Chenault with Skylight Systems, and in this video I'm going to give you a quick overview of our CRM app built for SharePoint called SideKick365 xRM Ultimate. It's a very full-featured app, and it's been under development for almost 6 years. We've had a lot of input back and forth from a number of our customers, and we've built many enhancements and improvements into this version. And we think that it's the best CRM app that you can install into SharePoint today. So let's take a look. The way it works is that you set up a team site in SharePoint, and then you install the app into that site, and it creates this special area in SharePoint that is all set up to help you run your business. There's a number of modules here. There's leads and accounts, opportunities, etc. on the left-hand side. And these are all used to help you manage working with your customers and prospects. So let's take a quick look at some of the key features. And then we have a number of other videos on our website that go into great detail on some of these areas I'm just going to touch on in this overview. Let's start with leads. If you take a look at leads, what you'll see is the lead is a very simple list in our solution. It doesn't have any attached documents. It doesn't have any attached contacts. It's simply a way to track information about someone or something that you want to find information about. But it's kind of a very simple thing. You can easily import data into it. And once you decide that you want to start tracking it, you can easily promote that into an account in our system. You just hit this promote and it makes it an account. So let's take a look at accounts. They're a lot more interesting. Accounts have a lot of information associated with them. And when I click on this ABC lock and key, what you're going to see is it has a lot of tabs across the top. These are things related to this account. They could be a number of opportunities, tasks, notes, documents, people, and projects. Notes are interesting because notes can have email reminders sent out to you via email, and they can also just be general information. I'll add a note here. It could be a phone call. I'll say I called Lyndon, and it was a good call, and I want to follow up on, let's just say, August 26th, and it'll send me an email right at midnight on the 26th to remind me to do that. So now I've got this note associated with this particular account. Now let's look at the opportunities. I'll just click on the tab up here, and I'll see that there are 3 opportunities associated with this account, ABC lock and key. And if I click on one, let's look at this padlocks. Let's see what's in opportunities. Now opportunities are very powerful. You can have a number of notes associated with them. You can have products, items, and you can also spread the value of that amount in that opportunity over several months. Let's look at one of those. So let's go to opportunities. Well, we'll go back to account. Let's just go back there. You also see notes and documents, etc. Let's look at a different one. So I'll go now into another opportunity, but this time I'll go in a different way. I'll go here to opportunities. And when I come in here, I can filter based upon the account really easily. Let's take a look to see how to do that. Because I have hundreds of opportunities in the system right now. But if I just click down here on the filters and I go to ABC lock and key, it'll go ahead and filter just those 3 for me. And now I'm going to look at this Madison Air Base. That's a big one. Let's go see what's going on there. So when I click on that, I'm going to see a lot of products. I'm going to see values spread over a period of time. And I'll see some notes as well. So let's take a look at this. It takes a minute to load everything up. And I can attach documents and people, etc. to this. So here I have some items associated with this. I have different products in the system. I've got a spread where I've got this total amount spread over 4 months. And I've got that amount coming in each month. So SideKick has the ability to store notes with reminders. It'll have products that you can attach to an opportunity. They can also be, like a labor. So let's do that. let's say I wanted to put in, some project management. And I wanted to say that I had 40 hours of that as well. So it's not limited to just physical products. You can go ahead and add these in as well. Now let's look at some projects. These are real interesting. So projects can be associated with an account, an opportunity, or they can be standalone. And a project is very useful if you make a sale and you wanted to manage the project after the sale. Let's take a look at that. Let's look at the Marina High School Rekey project. So when I go in here, what I'll see is this information about a specific deliverable, a project that we're working on. But it could be standalone. It could be attached to an account. It could be attached to an opportunity. And you can see here that I have notes. You can see I have items, and you can see I can actually even track time against the project. Now, it's another thing that's really cool is you can preload in templates. So if you use a template often, you can have those templates ready to go. So if I was to say new, I could have, let's say, a home inspection Excel spreadsheet. And this is all sort of built into SharePoint. We're leveraging content types. It'll take a minute here to launch the Excel spreadsheet. But what you're going to see is that it can then have this spreadsheet associated with that particular project, and it can do it right here online. It's very powerful stuff here. So if I just say, okay, I'm going to put, let's say it was good. I'll put an X there. The deck was okay. The doorbell worked fine. I could put an address here. I could say 555 West Drive. You get the idea. And it's automatically saving it. Now I'm going to give it a name here. I'll call this Home Inspection 1. Okay, and I'll just give it a date here. I could just put in today's date if I wanted to, etc. I'm just going to leave it blank for now. And now let's go ahead and hit the back button. See what's going on here. So I'm going to go back into SideKick, and again, this is all integrated in, and I'm going to refresh the page to see if that spreadsheet shows up in my project. I can already see that it does because I see documents 4, but I want to refresh that page. So there's that template that I had preloaded in. I can also do things like scan documents in. So here's a check that we received. And this is also searchable because it's a PDF that's been scanned in as a searchable PDF. We have integration built in with scanning. So you can also scan information right into it. And those are also searchable, as I said. If I come to the front page here and I type in the word negotiable, let's say, okay, so it'll take me just a minute here. And you can see it's very fast. I'm working here in Office 365. Hopefully I typed that right. And it'll search the whole database. And you can see I have 2 checks here. One from Gregory Gingham and one from Brooke Blend. And I can see the word negotiable right over here. And if I open it up, it'll also highlight that in the PDF viewer. Now, I can also do things with outgoing email campaigns that is also built into the product. No additional charge for this. And this is really handy stuff. What you can do is you can build a list of contacts that are filtered by, let's say, a state. So let's go into our contact list. If I go into my contacts, I could say I want to see the view of the ones that are for just California. So when I do that, I can see all these people listed here in California. Okay. Now, what I can do is I can use that list to make what's called a campaign group. And a campaign group has a list of all the people in that group. And I just pick that from that list view that I made in the contacts. And I can come in and delete or add people as I need to. If I just say edit, and let's say I wanted to take out, this first Kathleen here, but I want to add in somebody. So I can just go ahead and put things in. I'll put me in there, and I'll just put our info at Skylight Systems. So as long as you put in a valid email address, you're going to be good to go, and I'll save that. So I just added in Dave at info@Skylight Systems. Now, the way it works is you set up a campaign. And in the campaign, you can just put in HTML or just raw text if you want to. And so let's take a look at one that's been created already. So here I was using one that was a manual entry, and here's the information that was sent out via email. And I used a third-party tool to make it so it was properly formatted. When it came in to me, I did this earlier, you can see that the email is well formatted. It looks nice here. Of course, it's got some hashtags over it. We're using a product called Mail Styler. And once you get beyond the demo, all the text is no longer scrambled like it is down here. And of course, the watermarks are taken off. But what happens is we can use the capabilities in SideKick to do email campaigns. I pick my campaign group, I pick a email subject line, and then I tell it when I want it to go out and hit this button. And on that date, it'll get emailed to everyone in my campaign group list. Now, we don't want you to do thousands of emails out of this thing every day, but the idea is if you're doing a newsletter or a mailer, it's built in and very easy to use. Let's look and see how to do that real quickly. All you do is just come in and say new item, and I'll give it a name. I'll just say, Dave 1, it doesn't matter for this one, and give it a date of when I want to email it out. The red star indicates it's required. So on the 29th, it would go out. It could be a newsletter, an email blast. You can change these. And I can give it a subject line and say new email blast. And then what I'll do is pick my campaign group. It could be manual, where I typed them in manually, or that one I already created, California, and that's for my campaign groups. And then I can just put in my email body. You can see here it's rich text. And you can also put in straight HTML if you wanted to as well. It'll take just a second here. You could just type it straight in here. If it's well-formed HTML, it'll blast it out for you. So we think this could save you quite a bit of money. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, because this is just a quick overview, is that there is security built in to SideKick. So beyond all the tasks and notes and contacts and the spread values, here I'll just show you that before we hit security real quick. So spread lets you take a particular opportunity and spread that value over a number of months. So instead of having to put in an opportunity, let's say 7 times, because there's a little bit in each month, you could put the opportunity in once. And then we can run a nice report here that's going to show us how much each salesperson's got projected in each month based on the values they put in that spread. So the very last thing I want to show you is the security that's built in. Now, security is very, very powerful. What we do is you can create a security profile, a group of people that can read, a group of people that can edit. And based upon how you log into the system, you're going to see only a subset of data that you're allowed to see. So in this case, I've logged in as Alan Steiner. And if you notice, all of my salespeople are either Alan or Amy. That's because they work together. And the reason it's doing that is that I have a security profile assigned to that account. And everything that I put in automatically inherits that profile. And it's very simple. You just set up a read group, an edit group, give it a name, and when you add in an account or a contact, etc., then as that's added in, you would just select the profile that makes sense, and it's automatically going to trim things so you only see what you're supposed to see. So here you can see the profiles, etc. You can also pick people that already exist in the system. So in your contacts, if you hit the select button, you can pick someone that you've already entered into the system, or you could type someone new and it'll save them in there for you as well. I'll just pick Alejandro and say OK. And it'll go back in. And if I hit this little plus, you'll see these all over the place. It'll show me more information. I could also note if this was a new account that we got as a result of one of our campaigns, I could also say, hey, what are my active campaigns? Pick those and see how effective they are. So all of this functionality is built into SideKick365 xRM Ultimate. The last thing I'll show you is that we also have a really strong integration with Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, Excel. And when I click on this button, it will let me save an email directly into an account, an opportunity, or a project in SideKick that I have access to. Okay, so take a look at the other videos we have. They go into much more detail about each of these items that I briefly touched on. But everything in here is a SharePoint list. So when I click on a single click there, you'll see the familiar ribbon that you get in SharePoint. Very last thing I'll show you is we've added a little functionality in certain places, and you can learn more about that as you get into it. Where, for example, here in the contacts, you'll see this sync with Outlook. And we let you synchronize your Outlook contacts with the contacts in our system. If you add something in Outlook, it'll add it here. If you add it here, it'll sync it back to your Outlook as well. So it's a bidirectional sync capability that we've built in to SideKick. Just go back to Browse, and I can always get home by clicking on the button here. So I think that's enough for this video. I don't want to labor it too long, but I hope you have a good overview of the capability. There's a lot more detail in the following videos on our website. And if you have any questions, just email me at info at skylightsystems.com, and that's skylightsystems.com. We have a full demo that'll let you log in and try it yourself. Drop me a line and we'll go ahead and get that demo out to you, and look forward to hearing from you shortly. Thanks for your time.